I'm live. Am I live? Yes. Yes, I am live. So I suppose I'm live on YouTube. Usually I'm a Facebook liver, but I'm kicked off of there. So here I am YouTube live in it. And this is your Loonie Liberal Power Hour with your host, Lance Richards. And today's edition is I'm going to start off where I think we need to go is how Trump okeydoked you. Part 1. Now, I'll give you a little background about myself. I've been in the Trump trenches with the deplorables for 4 years now on Facebook, on the social media and stuff. Been in the battles. Good old-fashioned keyboard warrior I am. And I've got down and dirty with the deplorables, and I've got threatened, and it's like a battle. It's like kind of like it's like a civil war of truth is what we're in right now. We are having a second civil war, but our second civil war isn't fought with guns and atomic weapons, because that's just absurd. We know that we shouldn't want to kill each other, but we got to figure out what the truth is together. That's nasty business sometimes. It's really, really nasty business sometimes. It can get touchy. It can get testy. It can get medieval. It can get awful. World wars, crusades, all this horrible stuff that we've done to each other over the truth. Trying to figure out what the truth is. Who's right? Who's wrong? And this one that's happening now is basically a battle of information, of truth, of understanding, of knowing what's what and what's right and what's closer to the truth, what's logical, what's reasonable. It's a battle about information, knowledge, understanding. And how Trump first started to okey-doke you in this battle. Because make no mistake, the right side, the conservative side, is by nature behind. It is by nature not for evolution and progress and getting better. They're about keeping it close to them. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve, even though we must. And they stand up and they try to do their conservative thing. And sometimes they get really extreme. That's what history's taught us about. The first thing that he did is he made being liberal, having a liberal mindset, a dirty word. Made it like an insult. Like it's bad to be liberal. Now, see, that was a master stroke in his battle. Because as soon as he did that, basically what he's telling you is having an open mind, being an intellectual, being educated, understanding things, trying to have an open mind and use ideas to find the truth is a bad thing. It's basically what he's saying right from the get-go. They always attack liberals. A liberal mindset. All them crazy liberals. It's always them crazy liberals. And in effect, what he's really doing is he's telling you that it's okay to be closed-minded. It's okay to be fearful of Muslim people. It's okay to like the Confederate flag. It's okay to like and not have an open mind to how this affects others. You're allowed to believe whatever stupid thing you want to believe. And you don't have to listen to these people who have logic and reason and truth on their side. And education, most likely. They have decent knowledge to back up their opinions. That's another thing. That's another step in it. Is he takes advantage of the whole, well, I'm entitled to my opinion. Well, let's agree to disagree because I'm allowed to have my opinion. Yeah, you're allowed to have your opinion, but you're not allowed to have your ignorant opinion be imposed on everyone else. See, that's where you cross the line with your opinion. There's only so far you can go with your rights. Until your rights start infringing upon others, then you got to take a couple steps back. You got to be like, whoa, time out, dude. Just because you think pink unicorns rule the world, that doesn't mean I got to think pink unicorns rule the fucking world. I mean, this is America. I mean, you can't rule me with your God. You can't rule me with your nationalist views. You can't just throw shit at the fucking wall and just, if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't stick, well, okay, well, I'll throw some more shit up there. Because that's what they do. You can tell them the same logical, reasonable argument over and over and over again, and they can deny it and pretend like it doesn't exist and just keep throwing their shit at it. And that can't fly. We can't let that fly. Okay? So the first thing in fixing this mess is that we have to come to terms with our ignorance. Myself included. I'm not excluding myself from these rules or these suggestions. We have to understand and have our brains wrapped around the definition of liberal. First and foremost, you have to understand that being liberal is not a bad thing. It's first and foremost, the notion of America is a liberal idea, continues to be a liberal idea. The notion of allowing people to rule themselves, a government of, for, and by the people, is a very extremely liberal idea. It's out there. It was out there when we started it 200 and some years ago, and it continues to be out there. People still to this day is like, how the fuck did these guys make this shit work? They're still in awe of how do we continue to allow these people to be in charge of these people? People want to be ruled by a king, I guess, and be ruled by dictators, but not in America. We don't. In America, we don't let any one person or one entity tell us what to do. We, the people, rule ourselves. We rule each other. We come together to find the truth, and we tackle problems by having new ideas, finding new solutions, getting better and better and better and better every generation. That's what we do. And that's what we count on. We count on empowering people, because people's what we're all about. Now, the people that usually keep this moving in a righteous manner are liberal people. Liberal-minded people that see things coming or understand things better than most. They keep an open mind. They see all these perspectives, and they come to find the truth through that thought process, because being liberal is a thought process. So through their liberal thought process, they are closer to the truth. They are seeking out the truth. They are trying to adapt to change. They are trying to get ahead of the curve. We want to use the brains God gave us to adapt and evolve and get better for each other, for everyone, for posterity, for humanity, for Jesus if you want. I don't care why you do it. You should want to do it first and foremost for yourself, because you're part of humanity. You're part of this great machine we've got up here in our skull that has the capability to critically think, to be logical, to be reasonable, to be open-minded to new perspectives, to get ahead of the curve. That's what makes us the top of the food chain, bitch, is this and these. That's why we rule everything on earth that we know of. And when you make that a bad thing, when you come out there and say being a liberal is a bad, I'm going to go shoot them motherfuckers are saying they're going to shoot liberals in the street. They've told me they pray to their God that Trump will declare open season on liberals. I'm not making that up. You can't make that. Well, I could have made that up, but I'm not making that up. They have made being a liberal-minded individual undesirable. We are undesirables. We are like the Jews were. We're like the gypsies were, and the homosexuals. We're like homosexuals in Germany. Like the liberals, them damn commies. They even call us commies. I'm not a fucking commie. Being a commie is just as absurd as being a deplorable in my book. It's the same extreme conservative nationalist. I think I'm a better Jesus lover than you. It's just conservative, closed-minded thinking that they have to have for their own good. But the rest of us cannot let you guys be in charge. We cannot allow you to steer the ship. So we got to help you understand how you got so fucked up in the head, thinking that you could do the shit that you were doing. And you're continuing to do. Just lying, bold-faced lying. Believing whatever stupid shit you fucking hear come out of his mouth. Stupid shit. I can't call it anything else because that's what it is. Stupid shit. And it just upsets me. It upsets me that it's continuing to happen. So I got to figure out a way to help you understand. And this is part one in the process. There has to be a process, right? So step one is watch this video and understand, get your brain wrapped around the difference between a liberal and a conservative. Because now I'm going to apply these terms here in a second, okay? So liberal-minded people are open-minded, open to new ideas. They don't fear change. They try to get ahead of change. They try to adapt to change. They try to figure shit out with different perspectives and find the truth. They actively use this great piece of machinery we have up here, this marvel that we have in our skull, and we use it to help us along our way. Now, that's not to say that conservative people can't be smart and they can't understand things. But it is to say that they tend to be more closed-minded, fearful of change. They tend to want to hold shit back because they're scared of where it's going to go. They're more likely to be fearful of gay people and Muslim people, to be fearful of women in charge and black people in charge, which is exactly what you guys were for 4 years. scared to death of a black man in the White House, scared to death that a woman was going to follow him in there, scared to death that we let the gay people go to the bathroom where they wanted to go to the bathroom, scared of this and scared of immigrants coming in and taking over the country, and scared of this and scared of that, scared of liberals, scared of Democrats, scared of everything for 4 fucking years. You know who you weren't scared of? The dictators. You weren't scared. You ain't scared of Putin, which you fucking should be. You ain't scared of Kim, which you fucking should be. But your conservative mind allowed you to be okeydoked. You just believed whatever he filled your head with, and you wouldn't let it out. Because see, you're closed-minded. Once he fed it in there, you weren't going to let nothing take it out. Because you don't have an open mind. You don't see other perspectives. You only see your perspective. So you're easy to okey-doke, you see. And the first thing he did is make you fearful of the people who aren't easy to okey-doke. It's hard to okey-doke me. I mean, the only way you're going to okey-doke me is with my heart. I mean, I'll continue to love people over and over and over again. No matter how many times you try to okey-doke me, I'm still going to love you. That's the only way that you can okey-doke me. But now we have to make this clear, because this is one of the first things he did too, is he tried to, first he made liberals undesirable, then he made Democrats undesirable. And how he did that is he tried to make them seem like the Southern Democrats that used to own slaves. Well, Democrats started the KKK, and Democrats, they were the slave owners, all the Democrats. Yes, Southern Democrats. Okay. Conservative-minded people that didn't want to change from being a slave owner. They were conservative, closed-minded. They thought they were allowed to keep people slaves, and they didn't want to change. They were afraid of it. For good reason, because that was their livelihood in some cases. That's what they were taught. That's what our parents, Generation X parents, were taught. The baby boomers were taught that. That black people were inferior. It was taught in their books. It's what they learned. It's what they believed. Now, my parents were a little bit better. My mom was. My dad was. I mean, they weren't racist. So I grew up a little bit different than a lot of people that I know. But racism is absolutely present. We just didn't want to talk about it. And it comes from a conservative mind, a conservative mindset. Conservative Christian nationalists. And that's what a lot of us are. Especially in my neck of the woods. But I don't think they're bad people. I don't consider them the enemy unless they're trying to shove their shit down my throat and shove their shit down America's throat and hence the world's throat. Why do you think everybody celebrated when you guys lost? Can you explain that to me? I know I'm going off the tangent, and I'm not staying focused on this liberal conservative thing. But I already applied one thing. See, that's the conservatives back there in Civil War time causing a civil war, because they refused to stop being closed-minded. They refused to adapt to change. They refused to evolve. So they tried to hold us all back, and they even got out their guns and shot us. And here they are doing the same thing again. Only this time, they don't call themselves the Confederacy. They call themselves the Deplorables. And it's about as sound as a theory you're going to find it for the last 4 years. I've got a very firm foundation for that theory. It's sound. The Deplorables are just the Neo-Confederacy. They didn't bring out their guns. Well, they did. They just didn't shoot them. Except for Kyle. Kyle shot one of us. He went out liberal hunting. But the rest of them haven't yet. They're trying to intimidate people and throw their big tantrum and their fits. Just like, yeah, that's what conservative people do. It's another thing. Conservative people tend to be bullies, tend to intimidate people. If they don't get what they want, then they get mad and they want to fight. See, because what's in their head is so closed in there. And if they can't get what they want that's in their head, then they go crazy and they want to fight. They want to be bullies and they want to intimidate people to get what they want. Because they can't open their mind to anything else but what they want. And that's fair. It's by definition. I'm giving you the definition of things. I'm helping you to understand how you got okeydoked. I don't want to call you a good person or a bad person. You're a good person and a bad person because of what you've done. And yes, what you've done is empower a very destructive president for 4 years. It's fair. It's honest. It's truthful. It's as close to the truth as you're going to find. That for the last 4 years, you've been empowering a man who has went about trying to destroy American democracy right in front of your face. And he's continuing to try to do it, even after he got beat. It just keeps playing out. Exactly how I said it was going to play out 4 years ago. But let's try to move forward from that. How did it get there? And how it got there, first step, is he made people that can think seem like the bad guy. He made people that were good at understanding stuff and seeing perspectives and finding the truth, understanding what's credible and not credible, what's logical and what's reasonable. People that knew how to use this thing that God gave us besides using it to breathe and to walk and talk. They actually critically thought and came up with ideas and formed stronger understanding of the knowledge that they were given. They went in depth with their thought. These people are all of a sudden bad. Something to be ashamed of. They also made it so, these people also tend to be sensitive and care about others and want to help others, that's just weak. If you want to help other people, you're weak. If you can think, you're the enemy. If you want to help people, you're weak. Have they not been promoting that in one form or another for 4 years? So what happens is these conservative-minded people that are just closed-minded and only taking in what he says, and he's telling them to hate the Mexicans, so they do. He's telling them to hate the Muslims, so they do, and hate the press, so they do. Telling them the press, their information. You can't have any information but what I'm giving you. Will Trump leave the country now that he's lost, Mike? Huh? Yeah, probably. As soon as he gets his brain wrapped around the fact that he done fucked up and lost, and he's a loser for real, he's gonna want to bail. It's in his best interest to bail because we are gonna come and put him in jail. And if we don't, we need to stand up and make them do it to him because he deserves it. He's earned it. He fucked around. He threw the dice out there, and Mueller's got the shit on him. Can you say hi to my cousin Nick? He's in the hospital and loves your channel. He loves my channel? Okay. Hi, Nick. I hope you feel better. Yeah, I think Trump will bail. He has to bail. I mean, unless I'm the crazy one, we got all the dirt on him. Everybody that can think knows he's dirty. You're welcome, ma'am. Get better, Nick. I hope you'll be all right. I hope you'll be okay, dude. It's a rough time for everybody. The last 4 years have been shit because we got a punk ass, stupid guy that thinks he's going to be a dictator in America. And that's what's been happening to us for the last 4 years. Left us all to die to a pandemic. Left all our grandpas and grandmas for sure to just hit the bricks. See if we care. But let's get back to focus. The focus is the liberal conservative thing. The liberal conservative thing was his first punch to our gut. Truth's gut. America's gut. I have to reinforce it, which I've said it repeatedly over and over again, but I have to reinforce it again. We have the pillars that are important to this country. And one of them is truth. Trying to form a more perfect union, getting better, finding the truth, the truths that are self-evident. Like all men are created equal, all people are created equal. Yeah? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, First Amendment. These things are important to us. And he's pissed on them for 4 years. Audaciously, right in front of your face. And he's made you hate Muslims and Mexicans and women. Treats women like shit. Treat the press like shit. Immigrants in a country created by immigrants. You can't like immigrants either. You can't like nobody. If you're deplorable, you have to hate everybody that doesn't like Trump. Have you figured that out yet? And he's allowed to go on and pretend like he didn't get beat. He got his dick knocked in the dirt. His little tiny Cheeto dick, he got it knocked in the dirt. And he's just allowed to hold us hostage some more and pretend like it didn't even fucking happen. Oh no, it's fake. It's fraud. He's been saying that since he got beat in dodgeball in the 4th grade. He got cheated. If he lost, he always got cheated. They must have cheated me. It's fraud. He's been saying that since he was a little kid. Because he's a punk ass little rich boy and he doesn't have to know what it's really like to lose. He can't even bring himself to say that he lost. That's how much of a stupid punk ass little rich boy he is. He's 70 years old. And at 70 years old, he still can't come to the terms with the fact that he's lost. And this is coming from the people that know him best. I can't wait to read Melina's. I can't wait to read her journal, or she's going to have to do a book, right? They're all going to do books. It's what it's all about. It's all it was for him, was a money grab. He did a rich boy money grab on America. He conned America. You got to hand it to him. I mean, I don't know if he did it on purpose or if people did it for him, but 70 million people voted for that man. Again, it's unbelievable. It's Twilight Zone. It's beyond surreal, the last 4 years that we've come to the end of, hopefully. Knock on wood. He's trying to drag it out as long as he can. And his first hit to our gut, like I said, back to focus for the Loonie Liberal Power Hour with your host, Lance Richards. How did Donald Trump okeydoked you, part 1? He made people who can think seem like the bad guy. He made experts seem like the bad guy. He made people who might know what the hell they're talking about seem like the enemy. Because all of them were saying that he was full of shit. And this is why, and this is how. He attacked credible news. He attacked anything that said anything contrary to him or negatively about him. He tried to take control of our information. He tried to take control of every part of government. He did control the Senate. He held an iron grip on the Senate. He made it so trials weren't even fair in our Senate, in our highest buildings in the land. He made justice not even matter. Didn't even call witnesses. Didn't even, what trial? We're not even having a trial. No, this is just, we don't have to even listen to this 2.5-year investigation that was undertaken by one of the premier law enforcers in the history of America, who's done some pretty good investigating in his days, who was unbiased in his collection of said investigation. We're just going to pretend like that just didn't even happen. That didn't even happen. Nope. Can't have your impeachment today, liberals. So he's undermined everything that made America great. I mean, when you look back on it in a couple years, historically, history's going to tell you that Donald Trump pissed repeatedly on every single pillar of America. Everything that really made America great all these years and all these generations, Donald Trump pissed on for 4 years. Audaciously. While you guys were cheering for him. You deplorables. While you deplorables were cheering for him, he was destroying America. Trying to. Until we, the people, came back and took it. Took it back. Through American democracy, which is what we're all about, a democratic republic. The people took it back. In overwhelming fashion. We flipped the script on him. He snuck in on that Confederate bullshit, that Confederate Electoral College 3/5. I got to count my slaves because I'm a dumbass, because I need more power. You slid him by on that bullshit, even though he beat you in the popular. More people voted for Hillary, and we flipped the script on your Confederate shit, and we overwhelmed you in the same fashion. We took back all our blue states. We took some of your red states. It was pretty overwhelming. Took a while to get there, but it got there. And we put a long, drawn-out stamp. How many times you've lost now? How many times you've lost in the last couple weeks, Donald? Bad. You've lost over and over again. And you continue to lose. And I wish you would just get over it and just move on. You lost. You're done. And one of the biggest things we have to build back better is we can't tolerate this shit anymore. We can't allow you to think that you're even close to the truth anymore, because you're not. You're so far off the right edge with your conservative Christian nationalist bullshit that you don't even deserve to have a voice right now. You have to sit over in the corner with your dunce caps on, and you have to just ask thoughtful questions until we say that you can have an opinion again. Don't worry, we'll take care of you because it's in our nature to do so. We'll make sure you're okay. We'll help you out. We'll give you the benefit of being an American citizen, unlike you did us. But we don't want to hear your shit. I don't want to hear no more of your conspiracy theories. I don't want to hear about your crazy conservative Christian views. I don't want to hear about your nationalist, uber patriotic bullshit. This is about truth and humanity. It's about people, all people. Not just white Christian people. Not just conservative nationalist people. All people. You guys ain't the boss. When did conservative white Christian nationalists become the boss? When was it okay to start waving that Nazi nationalist Nazi flag? That white nationalist Nazi flag? When was it okay to wave that Confederate flag around and woohoo, we're proud of slavery here in America. It's part of our heritage. When was that okay? When did that become okay again? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Confederacy were the bad guys. They wanted slavery. They fought against America. They killed a bunch of Americans, and they got beat. And they're supposed to shut the fuck up about that shit because I don't want to hear it. The Confederacy is a defeated enemy of America, just like the Nazis. And I don't want to hear from any of them sons of bitches. Put them flags away. I don't want to fucking see them. Because you guys are losers. And what you think and what you represent is wrong and loser and evil and bad. And I can't get past that anymore. We can't agree to disagree about that. No, you're wrong. I don't want to see your fucking Nazi flag. Take it out in the woods with your buddies and burn crosses, swastikas, and go out there and, have a little commune of Nazis and Confederates. That's fine. If you get too rowdy, we got to do what we got to do, right? Because you ain't going to take us over with your Confederate Nazi shit. Let's get that straight. And I hope all of you deplorables trying to return to America now, that you start drawing a line in the sand for that shit too. It's not okay to be a Confederate and believe in slavery. It's not okay to be a Nazi and believe in white supremacy. Not in this country. It's not okay. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. You can do it out in your backwoods. But you keep that shit out there because we don't want to see it in our cities. We don't want to see it in Washington, D.C. or New York City or Columbus or any of those big cities where them guys are at. Don't come in here showing your fucking might with your dirty fucking white supremacist cocksucking shit. And that's how I feel about it. Because it's wrong. It's wrong. And there has to be a line drawn in the sand. That's conservative-minded bullshit. White people aren't better than everyone else. And slavery was not a good thing. Line in the sand. You can't believe that shit. At least you can't throw that belief in our face. Because I don't want to hear it. It automatically disqualifies you from having a voice. If that's the flag you want to fly, you don't have a voice in America. We only fly one flag. One flag. That's the only flag we fly. You can fly your state flag too, as long as it's not a Confederate one or a Nazi one. And yeah, you should change your fucking state flag away from a Confederate flag. Because the South's not going to rise again. You guys want to be sweet and hospitable and give me some sweet tea? That's fine and dandy. You want to be, polite and like you got to stick up your butt up down there? That's cool too. Do all your Southern stuff. I'm not trying to steal your Southern heritage. I ain't gonna take your sweet tea, honey. But you're not gonna fucking flaunt that slavery shit in my face either. Not in my children's face. Not in the people that I love's face. You're not gonna pretend like that's okay. No, you don't get to do that no more. Because you got a little too out of control with it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like how you guys treated Barack Obama and his family and continue to do it. I don't like how you do that. Because he was a good president. He was a good man. He's a classy, educated, good man. And the way you stupid sons of bitches have treated him and his family is just a spit in America's face. And it disgusts me. And it disgusts a lot of people. And a lot of people are tired of it. And that's a line in the sand for you. That conservative notion of superiority doesn't fly in America. Point blank and simple. You can believe it in the privacy of your own home, but you can't impose that shit anywhere. It's fair. It's called evolution. It's called finding something that's closer to the truth. Because you're not the superior race. If you've seen the pictures of yourselves, you would know that you're not the superior race. Get you guys all in a group picture. Get all the Nazis and Confederates and round them all up and put them in a nice picture, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And those of us who know what I'm talking about. And if you're not on board with that, then you're just as bad as them. If you think that's okay and that's normal, that's just all right, they're allowed to say what they want to say and shove all that shit down people's throats, and you're part of the problem too. Line in the sand. It's just not right. Make me understand how slavery was right in any circumstance. Make me see how white supremacy is right in any circumstance. White nationalism. They want to take over the world with that shit. They think that shit should rule the world. And just like your Christianity, conservative Christian mindset. You know what else is conservative? Let's apply this conservative to something else. You know what else is conservative religion? Al-Qaeda, ISIS, terrorist organizations, the KKK. These are conservative religious notions that are extreme. The KKK is an extreme terrorist group, a Christian terrorist group. It's religious terrorism. It's no different than Al-Qaeda or ISIS or any other terrorist group. You know who else was like that? Jim Jones. Branch Davidians. See, these are extreme religious groups that want to impose their will on others through violence, through mass suicide, making a point somehow. I don't know. Christians are becoming the terrorists in this country. They are trying to impose their conservative religious notions on everyone else, just like them dirty Muslims tried to do, just like them dirty Al-Qaeda, Bin Laden sons of bitches tried to do. And you can't do that shit in America, guys. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, they can thrive over there in the desert. They can thrive over there where there's not America. That's why America's got to go over there and try and help people out with them sons of bitches. But you can't do that in America. You can't do that if you're a Christian or if you're a Muslim or if you're a Buddhist or if you're a Satanist or if you're a Nazi Confederate motherfucker. You can't impose that shit on other people. You're conservative-minded bullshit. And it's a common theme that I've repeated over and over and over again for 4 years. These are all common themes. And yes, I can break it down how he okeydoked you. But the problem is, are you willing to accept this enlightenment? Are you willing to engage in this enlightenment and evolve from this enlightenment? Part 1. He made you hate people that can think. He made you hate liberal people, a liberal mind, in a country that is a liberal idea. He made you hate immigrants in a country that was founded by immigrants for the most part. Sure, we did some nasty things to the natives, but talk about that later. I'm just saying, America is a liberal idea. Government of, for, and by the people is a liberal idea. And you lead liberal minds to evolve with that. The Constitution is a liberal fucking document. We were created by liberals. We were empowered by the liberal mind. We count on the liberal mind to grow. And Trump made it the enemy. And he tied Democrats in there too. He made Democrats, they were related to them slave owners, which anybody knows that them slave owners were conservative too. You don't understand the difference between conservative and liberal. You used liberal as a dirty word. You use it as an insult. You don't understand it. You don't know what it fucking means and how it applies to anything. Why? Because that's just how you are. Your mind is closed. It won't let anything else in. And I'm going to help you with that if you let me. Eventually, hopefully. Yeah, rest in peace, MAGA. Amen, sister or brother. Sketchy. Amen, Sketchy. Sketchy peasant. That's a pretty nifty handle, I suppose. Sketchy peasant. Amen, brother. Rest. No, fuck them. I don't want them to rest in peace, but, rest in punishment until you can straighten the fuck up. Rest in punishment, MAGA. Yeah, Trump for prison. Absolutely. Absolutely. That goes back to Mike's. Yeah, I think he will try to leave. He'll try. I think we should have people waiting for him when he leaves the fucking bunker. I think that's part of why he won't come out of the bunker. Because he's afraid somebody will be waiting for him at the door. And somebody should be waiting for him at the fucking door after what he's done. And we need to rub these guys' face in it. Well, I explained it. I mean, you're going to have to rewind, Sketchy. Rewind. I like your handle, man. That's a good handle, Sketchy Peasant. I like it. Is that right? But yeah, 70 million people are conservative, closed-minded, and got okeydoked by him through passion, their passion for patriotism, their passion for Christianity, their passion and tenacity for ignorance. They're passionate about their ignorance, Sketchy. That was their problem. They have passion and tenacity about their ignorance. And he just fed their ignorance. He built a cult. Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, they're sicker. We are weaker in ways. We are poorer in ways, but we're still America. We're gonna come back from this. This ain't nothing we ain't been through before, Sketchy. We've already crossed the first big bridge and jumped the first big hurdle. We abused them. We just took it from them. We just stood up, took our sacred duty seriously, and came out and voted them sons of bitches out. Good guys. The adults are back in charge again. Now, of course, he's throwing his tantrum and hanging on to that Oval Office because he can't bring himself to the point of saying, okay, I lost. He can't do that. He can't bring himself to losing. So, I mean, we got to do what we got to do there. We got to let him have his little tantrum, I guess. But yeah, I think we should have somebody waiting at the fucking doors when he comes out. Okay, time to do your penance now, son. We let you get away with your shit for 4 years. Yeah, you took your turn. You fucked up royal. Now you got to pay. Sorry, rich boy, but you got to pay. Sorry, deplorables, but you got to pay. Well, I don't know if he's going to go to prison for sure. I don't know that. I'm not even going to let myself be that optimistic. Yeah, I hope that I hope they have like a what did he used to do? What they call that when he was Prime TV, where you could I want them to have a camera in his cell so I can see him suffer every day for what he's done. Yes, I want that, but I'm not going to be too optimistic about it. But yeah, they got the goods on him. He could go down for treason for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 things if they really want to try hard. Yeah, he's a traitor. He's the definition of a traitor. He is the new Benedict Arnold. It's going to be Benedict Trump from now on. Instead of saying Benedict Arnold, we're going to say Donald Trump. It's like Evel Knievel for a daredevil. Donald Trump's going to be a fucking traitor. And that's what he is. No matter what 70 million people, he made 70 million people think, no matter how he okeydoked them, Benedict Trump, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that works for me, but whatever. But yeah, I think that's absolutely what he is now. History is going to prove me correct on that, I think. I've got a whole, like I said, I've been doing this for 4 years, Sketchy. 4 years I've been in the Trump trenches, digging with these guys. And got a very sound explanation for how this all went down. But it starts with gaining credibility back to things that deserve credibility. Yeah, she probably is going to marry a liberal. I wouldn't want her. I have more respect for Melania than I do Trump, but I wouldn't want her. Well, yeah. Well, I will tell you this, that we have to find credible information, credible knowledge. We have to go back to standing up for what's logical and reasonable and what's the truth. We have to stand our ground when it comes to conspiracy theory and real fake news. I mean, that was a projection, all the projections that these guys did. They wanted to call everything else fake news as they were saturating us with misinformation and fake news. Yeah, no more alternate facts. Exactly. We have to stand for truth. That was the battle. We didn't fight this civil war with guns and bullets. We have to fight this with truth and logic and reason. We have to We have to beat down their ignorance and build them up to enlightenment. They have to understand. We have to find ways to make them understand the error in their ways. Because of course they're going to want to fight. They're going to want to shoot and punch people and intimidate people because that's their answer. That's their mindset. That's how they react to these things. That's why they're Confederates and Nazis and hardcore Christians. And I mean, it's just part of the mentality. It's part of their mindset. And they're entitled to that mindset. But they're not entitled to impose that mindset on everyone else. And they need to learn to understand that. That if they want to impose them types of mindsets, they need to go to the desert. They need to go over to Russia or somewhere else. Go to South Korea and get in good with Kim if that's what you want to do. You can't turn America into your own personal dictator, authoritarian, oligarchy, kleptocracy. That's not America. That's what he did for the last 4 years, but that's not America. If you want to do that, you got to go over there and do it with where you're allowed to do that shit. Trumpers are scared because they are slowly becoming the minority. Well, they are the minority. They were the minority in 2016. They just slid by on some Confederates shit. But yeah, they are the minority. They're the loud minority. But you know who came back and got them this year? The silent majority, the real silent majority, came back and bit them right on the ass. They're the violent minority. That's what the plurals have always been. They were just the loudest and the strongest and the biggest bullies. And they didn't have as many people as us. They just bitched more, louder. Like that big map of the red and blue, like land votes. They wanted to pretend like they owned all of America. No, they didn't even have more people than us. They just had the people in the right places. They had it all spread out. Okay, there's stupid people everywhere, right? Do I smoke weed? No. No, I don't need to smoke weed. Do you smoke weed, Sketchy? With a name like Sketchy Peasant, I bet you do. Bummer what? Why is it a bummer, man? Sketchy Peasant smokes it. No, man. Smoking weed's illegal, Sketchy. My name ain't Sketchy Peasant. But anyway. Yeah, they are the minority, and that does scare them. You're right. You're right. They're scared. That, at their essence, they're scared that people that they consider the minorities are taking over. That's why they don't want a black man in charge. They don't want a woman in charge. They don't want Muslims in charge. They don't want Mexicans here. They fear for their power, their sense of superiority. That's just part of who they are. They fear that if other people get something, then they won't get it. Trade those cigs for some cannabis. It's the white people being scared of the other races. Well, yeah, I don't know that I don't think all of them are scared of the races. Yeah, I think there's a lot of racism. There's a lot more racism than anybody ever says. I live in a hotbed of racism personally, so it's different for me. I'm outraged by it, but I've also had to live with it my whole life, so I'm desensitized to it in a way too. So I'm outraged and desensitized to it. So it's tricky for me, but I think most of them, like I said, are more afraid that somebody's going to come and take what they got. Yes and no. Yeah, I did grow up with other races, but I live in an area that's overwhelmingly white. I live in rural Ohio, so on the West Virginian border, so you don't get much more rural than that. I mean, in the Appalachian Mountains. I mean, it just is what it is. Like I said, it's tough because, like I said earlier, Sketchy, when you'll rewind, you'll hear it. But like I said earlier, our parents, the baby boomers, my parents, were taught that black people were inferior in school. I mean, to them, that was a fact. That wasn't an alternate fact like it is now. That was a fact back then. They learned that the black race was inferior to the white race. It was what they were taught. So, in a way, I understand it. And like I said, I'm desensitized to it. And it's not as rabid. I mean, I never faced any I mean, yeah, I've been around some racist people, but it's wasn't as rabid as it seems to be lately. He empowered that. Trump empowered them racists to be rabid again. I feel these white people who don't interact with other races only see what yeah, well, absolutely. That's yeah. Yeah, if you're not around a black man all the time, or you don't know many black people, you only see what you know. You know, you only know what you see. So like you said, you see it on the TV. Maybe some of the guys that you do hang around you see the bad side of it too. So yeah, it's about your experience also, I think. And sometimes that's an interesting thing, because I also live like right on the Ohio River. Like the river's right down the road from me. So you go down across the river and you got Steubenville and Belair and Martins Ferry and all these places down here. They have black folks down there. And I know a lot of black folks, and I consider them friends, and I think they're good folks. But I can see how there would be bad experiences down there that some people, I mean, I know racist people from down on the river because of their experiences on the river. If you get my meaning, where I'm coming from. It's just people being people and not understanding each other and only seeing what they see and not taking the time to be thoughtful and understanding and honest and fair, because it's not in their nature to be. It's not in their mindset to be. Well, I hope you do, Sketchy. I've got a pretty unique perspective when it comes to those kind of things, because I'm one of the few people you'll find in my area that has that type of open mind about things and a thoughtful perspective of things, where I try to take. There's not too many people around like me around my area. In fact, the only ones that are probably my kids and the people that, I don't know, maybe I rubbed off on a few people. I don't know. But I'm not normal in my area. Let's just put it that way. But thanks, Sketchy. That was some good feedback, man. I'm past my hour. Usually I only do the Loonie Liberal Power Hour for an hour. But I don't know what. I mean, I don't want to get too crazy. But, well, I don't. Thank me for being smart. I try. I try to be smart. I try to be as smart as I can. My daddy always told me it's better to be a smart ass than a dumbass. So there you go. And I'm also a smart ass in that way too. But yeah, nice chatting with you too, Sketchy. You have a good night, Bubba. I'll see you on the flip side. Sure, I'll be back because I've been kicked off Facebook. So I'll bring this around town. Sketchy's on his way out the door. We'll bring it around town. Get a little summary going. And the focus, of course, was how Trump okeydoked you, part 1. And the pillars of this lesson was liberal and conservative. You have to get your brain wrapped around what a liberal mind really means. It's not an insult. It's not a dirty word. It's not something that's bad. Okay? It's just a thought process. It's the reason you have America in the first place. It's what has kept America going and established in the manner that it's established in. A liberal mind is what makes America great. It's not something to be put down. It's not something to be insulted. It's not something to be used as a dirty word. And when you do that, you spit in the face of America. That's the first way you got okeydoked, is because you let him make being liberal a bad thing. And it's not. It's simply how we think. It's simply what helps us get closer to the truth than you when we have to. You're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe, but you're not allowed to impose your ignorance on people. You're not allowed to impose your conservative ideals on people, or your religious notions, or your notions of patriotism. You're not allowed to do that shit. Not in America. Now, we'll be thoughtful and we'll discuss these things and we'll try to work them out for a mutually beneficial end, but we're not going to let you take us off the right end. Just like a bunch of lemmings running off the right-wing conservative edge to rock bottom. No, we're not going to do that. Not anymore. Your 4 years are up. You done your right-wing conservative Christian nationalist bullshit for 4 years. Now we're going to pull you back here to the middle. You got to come back here where the truth is with us, because your bullshit has us where we're at. And we got a pandemic to fix. We got jobs to bring back. We got to get this shit back together right. And you guys need to sit in the corner with your dunce caps on and pay attention. Learn something. Ask thoughtful questions. Get your brain wrapped around the shit that you obviously don't understand. First step, my liberal mind gives me stronger opinions than you, because it allows me to see different perspectives, have an open mind to new ideas. It helps me not to fear change. It helps me to evolve and progress and to adapt to the change that's coming, to get ahead of it sometimes. That's how we build America. It's how we've always built America. That's where America came from. Okay, that's been my hour. As always, be nice to each other. Try to be fair and honest and kind and strong and help each other out, because that's what we're here for. Thank you for your time. That's been it. This has been your Loonie Liberal Power Hour with your host, Lance Richards. I will see you guys next time. Dumbass out.